Lady with the Lamp, Florence Nightingale and her spiritual conviction. When we think of modern nursing, one name stands above all others, Florence Nightingale, Lady with the Lamp. But behind her groundbreaking work was a profound spiritual conviction that shaped her mission. She was an author, statistician, leader, innovator, and nurse. Through her commitment to her vocation, caring for sick and wounded, and her faith in God, she revolutionized the medical field in the mid to late 19th century. In this brief study, we'll explore her career milestones, her religious beliefs, and how her faith fueled her vision for healthcare. Florence was born to a wealthy, upper-class family in Florence, Italy, in 1820. Her parents, William and Edward Francis Nightingale, welcomed her into the world during their extended European vacation, which lasted 2 years. When the family returned to their home in England with Florence and her older sister, born a year before her in Naples, Italy, they divided their time between their summer home in Derbyshire, England, called Lea Hurst, and a winter home in Embley Park, Hampshire, in southern England. Her father educated her, and she excelled in mathematics and languages, allowing her to read and write in French, German, Italian, and Greek. As she grew up, she expected to behave and conduct herself in ways of a socialite woman in upper-class society. She defied this construct when, at the age of 16, she experienced what she called as a call from God to devote her life to alleviating suffering. She was determined to become a nurse, even though society in England at the turn of the century looked down on nurses, and they were considered drunks, prostitutes, and not fitting for upper-class society. Florence would sneak around for 2 weeks in 1850, and then again in 3 months in 1851, receiving secretive nurse training at the Institution of Protestant Deaconesses in Kaiserwerth, Germany. Throughout most of her early adult life, she struggled to fight against what was expected of her to achieve and the vocation she was called to fulfill by God. In 1853, Florence Nightingale broke free of the turmoil of her family. She used her social connections to obtain a superintendent job at the Institution for Sick Governesses in distressed circumstances in London, England. Florence excelled in this position by utilizing her administrative skills to enhance nursing care, improve working conditions, and increase the overall efficiency of the hospital. The most infamous of her works came when Secretary of War appointed her to assemble a 38-woman team for British government to care for the wounded and sick British soldiers in Scutari Hospital in Constantinople during the Crimean War. The men in the hospitals and all ill wards were dying faster there than on the battlefield. Again, Florence excelled regardless of the oppression of doctors who felt that a team of nurses didn't belong in a war zone. She and her team of nurses drastically reduced death rates by introducing sanitation reforms. Florence Nightingale's faith was central to her mission. She believed that nursing was not just a profession, but a sacred calling. She viewed health as part of God's human design for human flourishing. Her writings often linked spiritual well-being with physical care. Florence advocated for compassionate care rooted in Christian ethics such as service, humanity, and love. Two of her favorite quotes to God was, "Here am I, send me," Isaiah 6:8, and "Behold the handmaid of the Lord, and so have I said in my youth," Luke 1:38. Devotional reading and prayer for work, nurses, patients, and causes were central to her life. In conclusion, Florence Nightingale revolutionized nursing, but her faith gave her purpose and reliance she needed. She was born into a wealthy and upper-class society and resisted life of leisure and pleasure to follow a calling from God to alleviate the suffering of others. Her life reminds us that authentic leadership often springs from conviction, and that caring for others can be both a professional duty and a spiritual calling. This was a great read. Anybody interested in learning about her, I only touched very little of it. And I was just, everybody check it out. Thank you.